Ever tried making cinnamon rolls only to end up with a tough, doughy mess? And it turns out there is a simple trick that could change everything. I'll show you today some tips and tricks on how to avoid that. Today I'm going to share with you my favorite recipe for the softest ever classic cinnamon rolls that are ridiculously easy to make. To begin with, we're going to warm up some milk, and then we're going to mix this with our yeast, and then we're going to just mix it around a little bit. Then we'll let it sit for about 5 minutes until it becomes frothy and bubbly. Next, in our bowl we'll add all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, salt, and then we'll mix this together for a little bit. Then we're going to add our softened butter into it. Now, this part I tried using the paddle and it was a bad idea, so I wouldn't recommend this. Did you know that the secret to super soft cinnamon rolls lies in the dough resting time? Letting it rise properly can make all the difference between a dense and a fluffy cloud of cinnamon goodness. So I recommend that you use your dough hook for this process. As you see, it worked a lot better. We're going to add in our milk and yeast, and then we're going to add our 2 eggs and our egg yolk. Then we'll knead the dough for about 10 minutes until it becomes smooth and elastic. Another common mistake is overmixing the dough, which can kill the yeast and lead to a tough, chewy texture. And let's not forget about the importance of using the right type of flour and sugar, as well as adding just the right amount of butter and spices. Now let's place the dough on a lightly floured surface and knead for about 30 to 60 seconds. Roll this into a bowl. After that, we'll place the dough in a bowl and cover it. Then let it rise in a warm place for about an hour, or until it doubles in size. Once it's risen, we'll roll it out and we'll spread the butter and cinnamon mix. Then we'll roll it up and then we'll cut the cinnamon rolls out of it. While our dough is rising and doubling, let's make our filling. We'll combine softened butter, brown sugar, and cinnamon. Now we could just spread the butter and then add the sugar and cinnamon mix, and that would give us the same thing. But I like to avoid that. I like just doing it as easy as possible. This is a lot easier. Mix everything together, one go. Let's mix this on high speed until we get a paste-like consistency like this. Now that we made our butter, cinnamon, sugar mix, I'm going to reserve some of this and spread it on the bottom of the baking pan. This will give the cinnamon rolls that classic caramely look on the bottom, and when you pull them out, eat one, you will get that flavor of cinnamon and sugar from both sides. Now that our dough has risen and it has doubled, we're going to place it on a lightly floured surface, and then all we're going to do is knead it for a couple of minutes and then roll it back and forth until we get the shape of a nice ball, smooth all around. Then if you press it down with a finger, it should bounce back immediately. From here, we move on to the next step. Now it's time for the fun part. Rolling out the dough and spreading on the butter and cinnamon mixture. This is where the magic happens, and you get to see our cinnamon rolls come to life. For this recipe, I rolled it up into a rectangle, but you feel free to get creative and try out different shapes and designs. Make sure to spread the butter and cinnamon mixture evenly, leaving small borders around the edges. Now, as you spread all this sugar and cinnamon mix, make sure you're getting every area as much as possible. Use all of your mix that you have left over. The more the better. Use up all your mix here. Just make sure you gently spread it. You don't want to rip the actual dough. Then roll it up tightly, but gently, and cut into your desired shape. From here, we're going to actually cut the rolls about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Like this. While you're cutting your rolls, you're going to notice that you're going to get quite a few pieces. If you can't fit them all into your baking pan, I recommend that you put them into another container and you put them in the refrigerator. You can pull them out next time and just let them properly rise at room temperature, and then you can just bake them. So from this point, these rolls that we're cutting right now, we're going to make sure that we give them enough time to properly proof. Otherwise, when we bake them, they're going to come out tough, dry, doughy, and hard. Not so gooey and soft anymore. So make sure you give them enough time to proof. Minimum 1 to 2 hours. Now from here, I'm just going to place them in my baking pan. Then I'm going to let them proof for about an hour or until they have nearly doubled in size. The result? Fluffy, buttery, and utterly irresistible cinnamon rolls. In the meantime, let's make the frosting. We'll whip our cream cheese for about 1 minute or 2 minutes. And then we'll add the powdered sugar slowly to incorporate it into the cream cheese. Then we'll add the vanilla and whole milk. We'll whip this on high until it looks soft like this. Then add vanilla and whole milk. Whip on high speed until it looks smooth like this. Now if you want this more runny, just add a little bit more of whole milk. Let's go check on our rolls. And now our rolls are proof. They should look like this. Now let's add a little bit of heavy cream around these empty pockets, and we'll spread out evenly just a few tablespoons. I recommend this as it will keep them a lot more moist inside. Now from here, we're going to bake them in the oven at 370 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. Your time may be different, so I recommend pulling them out of the oven when you can poke them with a knife and it comes out clean. Now let's go check on our cinnamon rolls, see how they're doing. These look ready. Now as I pull these freshly baked cinnamon rolls out of the oven, the aroma that fills the air is just incredible. That gooey feeling and soft, fluffy texture. It's really hard to resist the temptation of sinking your teeth into one of these babies right away, but trust me, let them cool for about 10 minutes before drizzling on that sweet glaze. Today we've gone through the simple steps to create the softest, most mouth-watering classic cinnamon rolls that will impress anyone. If you give this recipe a try, I'd love to hear about your experience in the comments below.